Hello, hello, hello. Now, round one has officially ended. The real round of football, not the opening round stuff. So we started off with Carlton versus Richmond at the MCG on Thursday night. It was an intriguing game of football. The first quarter was okay, solid. But the second quarter was just, a bit of a snooze fest. I actually fell asleep during it, but I watched the third and fourth quarter and my eyes were open. So Carlton did everything they could to lose this game, and the Tigers did everything to even more lose it. Tom Lynch, he kicked 2 goals, 7. If he kicked straight, Richmond could have won by like 4 goals, which would have been insane. And I thought Carlton were just ordinary, really. Jagger Smith is a freak, though, and especially what he's doing right now, especially coming off an ACL. Ollie Lord has started the season very well, and the two big guns are back, Paddy Cripps and Sam Walsh. The Tigers are looking very, very good. You've got Gridge, Cummings, Spanks, Steely, Lawler, Mansell, just to name a few. These players are just, playing with confidence, and that's what you need as young players coming through. And as I'm saying, I'm 24 years old, so I'm still young, part of that. So, anyways, Carlton had 16 less inside 50s. 16 less. That is insane, to be honest. I just don't really know what to say, to be honest. And the Tigers had 97 marks as well. A lot of them were obviously uncontested marks. A few contested marks, but like it's 97 marks. They just didn't exactly look for to man up and stuff like that. So that's concerning for the Blues, to be honest. And there was 139 turnovers for the entire game. The Tigers kicked 17 behinds, and the Blues kicked 15 behinds. Now, I know Carlton are technically sort of rebuilding in a way, but like, seriously? Just some of their skill errors are just so terrible. And like they played decent. Decent. They played really well against the Cats and the Lions, and they beat those two clubs. And then they go to Sydney. Like they should have went with confidence, and then they lost that, and they started playing some poor football against the Tigers. I just don't understand their game plan. I just don't understand the way they try and move the ball as well, and just change your angles a little bit more. And Sammy Walsh is trying his heart out. Paddy Cripps is trying his heart out. Jagger Smith is trying his heart out. Mark Pitternatt, he's kicked like what 8 goals or something like that, even 9 goals to start the season, which is unbelievable. But it's just some of those poor turnovers, and their kicking is just horrendous to watch. Okay, moving on to the Essendon versus Hawthorn game on the Friday night at the G. I'm amazed I didn't fall asleep during this game. It was an interesting first quarter. It was like 27 Essendon to like 34 Hawthorn. So I'm like, okay, we're looking forward to this 3 more quarters to go. I'm really looking forward to it. And Essendon just lacked pressure. They lacked composure. They lacked consistency with the footy. And they were just not there. And the backline did sort of hold up okay-ish. And then they just kicked, I think, 7 goals, 7 Hawthorn in that second term. And the game was over then. It's like 7 goals, 7. 14 shots to 2. You don't really hear it that much. And like Hawthorn missed some easy shots as well. So it could have been a absolute onslaught. And I mean Hawthorn did let Essendon kick 4-5 goals-ish in the last term. So a bit disappointing there. And they could have really put a 100-point plus deficit on Essendon. And yeah, again, with same with Carlton in a way for Essendon. But probably a bit of a insult to Carlton. But like, what is their game plan? Why why? Hawthorn took 51 marks. Their back six took 54 marks in the end. Like, obviously, some of them would have been outside of the back half 50, obviously, when they were chipping the ball around and things like that. But it's like 54 uncontested marks, pretty much. Some of them were contested, but like that's just like a discipline, like of effort, like a trying. Just, yeah, like they were just bombing it, and it's like change your angles and lower your eyes. Zach Merritt's trying his absolute hardest, but they've got a very handy midfield. You've got Jai Caldwell, Darcy Parish, so good to see him back. And then you've also got, there's a few other players, Sam Durham as well. You've got some very handy midfields in there. And obviously in the back line, you've got Andy McGrath, who's the captain now. You've also got Archie Roberts. He can do some great things. And in the forward line, you've got Nate Caddy and who else? Well, Isaac Kako's going to come back in. Hassan played some pretty good football at times in his debut game. And yeah, I don't know where Essendon are going, to be honest. It's just so frustrating. Like, I know it's the first game. Ben Mackay, though, he played pretty well. He had, I think, finished with, is it 10 marks in the end? On my notes, I think it is, or 11, 9 could be. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's just, yeah, I just don't understand their game plan at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Scott got the chop within the next 2 months, to be honest. And let's talk about Hawthorn. Their midfield dominated after quarter time. Connor Nash had 7 clearances with 23 disposals. And then you've also had Jack Gunston. He's aging like fine wine. It's very scary. He had 6 goals did he kick? No, 5 goals. 5 goals, 1 with 6 marks and 3 marks inside 50 with a lead. And Nick Watson, now I hate saying this as a Cats fan, but I think he's my favourite non-Geelong player. That is for sure. It's just, yeah, I mean, the way he attacks the football, the way he, just goes full speed at the football, tackles well, and can kick a goal or a few. I think he kicked, 4 goals and had 7 shots on goal, which is insane. And he kicked 2 behinds with 1 shot on the full. So he's done some very valuable things, and he's going to kick easily 45 goals at least, in my opinion. Dylan Moore had an interesting off-season. Now, I'm not going to get into it, but interesting. Same as Connor McDonald, but they played some great football as well. You've also had James Sisley down back. He played very, very well. And Hawthorn, though, they'd be very disappointed because they had 40 shots on goal. 40. 19 goals, 21 goals, 19 for the match. They could have easily kicked maybe 10 plus goals. They missed some easy shots on goal, that's for sure. Chol's doing his thing, and he's a great athlete. Sometimes it feels like he doesn't really try. It kind of reminds me of, what's his name from England? Jofra Archer. But obviously he does, they both do try. And Will Day will be coming back halfway through the season. Fingers crossed for Hawthorn fans. They don't have a great midfield, Hawthorn, but they just always find a way. And that's the thing. They've also got a great ruck duo in Ned Reeves now. He played some great footy on the weekend. And you've also got Lloyd Meek as well. But yeah, Hawthorn are just looking very, very good. Bring their A game last week. But if they have this type of performance, they're more likely to win big against the opposition. And I'm scared for Easter Monday, as I'll be going to that game, and I haven't been since 2018. And I will be going to the Hawthorn Sydney game tomorrow night. If I can be bothered editing this, no, we'll edit this before tomorrow. Okay, the Western Bulldogs versus GWS Giants at Marvel Stadium. I didn't watch this game at all, but I saw the score, and I had to rub my eyes 5 times to see the score, and GWS were down by 81 points. Western Bulldogs kicked 134 points. Not literally, because they obviously kicked 21 goals, 8. 21 goals, 8 behind. That is very, very good accuracy to GWS, 7 goals, 11, 53. Now, GWS were very disappointing on the weekend. Now, I'm only going by stats because I did not watch this game at all. But when you've got superstars in Toby Green, Clayton Oliver, you've also got quite a few role players. I think Toby Bedford's still there. Yes, he is. You've also got so many more players. I can't remember the top of my head at the moment. My brain's gone a million miles an hour trying to see what the hell happened to GWS on the weekend. That was just, I don't know. And the thing was, GWS had 127 marks to the Western Bulldogs 118. Now, I've tried to find the record for both teams with marks. I can't find any. So I don't know if that is the record or not, but 127 marks to 118. That is just insane. That's 251 marks, if I am correct. That's wow. And the Bulldogs had 19 marks to 9 GWS inside 4 and 50. Aaron Norton's been Aaron Norton, and we've had the end of discussion for the best player in the competition. That is Marcus Bontempelli. Now, if he doesn't win a Brownlow before he decides to retire, there is something wrong with the Brownlow system. He's been the best player for the last, I feel like, 6 years, and he still hasn't won a Brownlow. It's just insane to me. Now, the Giants had 56 tackles to 43, and it was like 26 free kicks to 12 Western Bulldogs way. Now, free kicks sometimes mean a lot, others they don't. So I didn't watch the game, so I can't comment on the umpiring, and I used to umpire football as well. So Giants had 5 less inside forward 50s. No, they had 4 less inside forward 50s, and they got hammered in the clearances, and that was just 45 to 26. That is 19 clearances more for the Bulldogs than the GWS, so that means the defense was under pressure for the Giants. And just remember, I don't think Sam Taylor's even playing, and I haven't heard much about him in the past probably few months, so that's interesting. I'll probably reflect after this. Actually, you know what? Let's have a look. Is Sam Taylor playing? I am very intrigued because I want to know. Actually, I could just go here, but that's okay. Let's have a look. Now, I want to see the team. And yeah, Sam Taylor was not playing at all. So he's their best defender by far. But Connor Iden, he had to do quite a bit of the dirty work for the Giants. He did decent. You know, you've got players like Sam Darcy. You've got Aaron Norton kicking 6 goals. I mean, that's just, Tom Liberatore, he's very underrated. He just does his role very well. I'm sure he's very, very rated in Bulldogs. You've also got Buku, who had 9 marks in the back half, which was incredible. And, hopefully he's found his form and he can find his spot as well. Okay, so let's talk about the Geelong versus Fremantle game Saturday afternoon at GMHBA, the best stadium in the whole of Australia. No, that obviously goes to Adelaide Oval, Optus Stadium, MCG. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out the vlog, I highly recommend it because it's entertaining-ish. Okay, so the first quarter was, not ideal, was it? Fremantle actually had their highest score outside of WA of all time, which was not great, and they scored 51 points, 8 goals, 3 in the first quarter to Geelong's 3 goals, 1, 19. And Mr. Chris Scott had some stern words for the Geelong team, and they decided to a quarter time and go, you know what? We do get paid to play football, so we probably should, actually do our job. Those 3 quarters were pretty good. And at halftime, the Cats were down by 22 points, and I'm like, yeah, we can come back here. If we kick 4 goals and we tidy up some of our kicking errors, we can come back, and we did that. And well, I'm just a fan and a passionate Geelong supporter, so I probably shouldn't say we, although I did volunteer at the Cats in 2018, 2019. So there's that. Anyways, so let's have a look. Caleb Sarong was elite with 30 disposals, 8 clearances, 11 score involvements, and he kicked a goal. Probably in the top 10 of the best players in the country. Now, I'm not trying to be biased, but for me, best on ground was a guy called Max Holmes, number 9 for Geelong. He reminds me of James Kelly in a way, but he had 32 disposals, 25 effective disposals, and he also had the most effective disposals on the ground as well. He also had 21 pressure acts as well as 10 score involvements and 8 tackles as well. Now, Tommy Atkins being Tommy Atkins, a very underrated player, and honestly, my favourite Cats player, since 2019. Honestly, he just does all the dirty work, does the hard work. He had 10 tackles and 27 pressure acts, and he is Geelong's most important player. Second is Jeremy Cameron. Yeah, so that was 32 goals and 23 disposals. So that was pretty good. Obviously, that was an error by the 7 AFL. He kicked 3 goals and had 23 disposals. So he did very, very well there. And you've also got Sean Manor. He played some great football, kicked 3 goals. I think kicked 2 in the second quarter to set us up coming back. Luke Jackson also played very well. He had 27 disposals, 10 clearances, 8 tackles, 27 hit-outs. Well, very, very dominant. Great to see Tommy Stewart back to his best with 10 marks and 27 disposals. Shannon Neal playing very, very well. He had kicked a bag of 5 and he had a great set of mitts on him, and it's great to see. Tanner Bruin was great to see playing well again with, I think he had 24 disposals, I think. And Fremantle, they looked very hot early and they just faded away. They kicked 26 points in the second half to Geelong's 58, which was a massive, massive letdown, especially working so hard and to get even, through 51 points. And to have a 35-point lead and choke it was inexcusable, although match fitness was always bound to happen, especially when the teams play opening round first up and they lose, they're more likely to win, and because they've got the legs on them. So I do agree with Justin Longmuir's what he said in the comments. Make sure to check out my video and what my solution is in the comments below, if I remember. Anyways, so I thought Josh Tracy's was going to be on for another level. He kicked 2 goals, I think, in the first quarter, and then he wasn't really seen since. Okay, enough about the mighty Geelong Cats and my favourite team. Let's go to the Sydney Swans versus the Brisbane Lions. Now, I only watched a little bit of this game because I watched the Collingwood-Adelaide game, and Brisbane Lions, well, you kind of expected them to lose. Probably not this much, but I expected them to lose by about 4-ish goals or something like that. So, the Lions did well to get their margin back. 4 goals in the last term. The Sydney Swans, they were just dominant. They kicked 15-14, 104 to the Brisbane Lions 8-12-60. Classic Brisbane, though, having more points and goals. Classic. They had quite a few missing. Darcy Gardner, Zach Bailey, and Harris Andrews through suspension. You've also got injuries to Logan Morris and Hugh McCluggage. So it was also Daniel Annabelle's first game. I think it was pick 8 in the draft for Brisbane. And the AFL world welcomes back Sam Draper, who came back from ACL. He missed about nearly 12 months. And you've also got Lincoln McCarthy, who's missed 2 years with his knee injuries. What is it? No, just knee injuries. Yeah, back-to-back ACLs he had or something like that. So obviously a massive to get him even back playing. So credit to him. Would have been a tough 2 years because he missed the 2 grand finals. So he could have been a premiership player. I really wish him the best, and yeah, he's just going to be a hell of a player this year for them if he gets his knees right. Fingers crossed. Now, you've also got some inexperienced Brisbane Lions outfit with their system. Obviously, Oscar Allen as well. He's a bit, touching up and at the moment. So, I mean, he'll get there. Like, just take him another maybe couple of months to get used to the system. And they were quite a young side, to be honest. They were missing quite a few players, and it's really good to test the depth. They go 0-2 into the bye, and honestly, it's not that bad. Like, they were in for the Western Bulldogs game. They gave it the best shot. I know, losing, I mean, I guess you take a 44-point loss, even though they could have lost by like 10 goals plus. So I guess you kind of take that. And, I mean, how good is it to see Isaac Heaney? But unfortunately, he's done his hamstring and will miss a few weeks. Errol Goulden, though, will be missing months after his injury. He injured his shoulder and will require surgery, so that'll be probably 2 months to 3 months max. Now, Dane Zorka, got to give a shout out to him. He's just getting better with age. 30 disposals he had, and he's 37 this year, which is insane. Yeah, I mean, Joel Marty, though, he's flourishing under Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow, I think he kicked 2 goals. 2 goals, 1 goal, one of the two. Joel Marty, he's kicked 8 goals so far this season. So if he continues to grow and develop his game, he's only 26. And key forwards take 5 years to really get into their system, sort of, and develop and into their big body. So, yeah, I understand that. And, I mean, he's not getting the best defender anymore because Charlie Curnow's there. So this is going to be a really, really big test to see how well Joel Marty can go this year. If he can be consistent, he can kick 35 plus to even 45 plus goals. Okay, so the Collingwood versus Adelaide Crows at the MCG. Finally, the Crows defeated the Pies at the G after several attempts and close encounters. I think it was like maybe, I don't really know how many times. I think it was about 5 in a row, whereas less than a kick, which is insane. Yeah, they finally got the job done by 14 points. They kicked 13-15-93 to the Pies 11-13-79. Shout out to Wayne Malera, who collected 34 disposals, 634 metres gained, a clearance, and a goal assist. Now, Nick Dacos also played great. He had 33 disposals, 2 goals, 790 metres gained. That is insane. Yeah, he was basically carrying the team on the back. Now, what I do not like about the critics is they're criticising Nick Dacos, the way he goes about and things like that. I don't understand it at all. I don't like it at all. He plays by the rules, he plays fair, and he's a cracking player and probably will be up there with one of the best players of all time if he gets a couple more flags and a couple of MVPs and Brownlows and that. I just don't understand the hate he gets, and that's just me. The Crows just exposed the Magpie defence without Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe. So those are 2 massive losses. Sam Berry played really well. Jordan Dawson played really well. Braden Cox played really, really well. Riley Thilthorpe is an absolute beast. He took 7 marks and kicked 3 goals. But I'm just not a big fan of the big 3 talls. You've got Darcy Fogarty, Tex Walker, and obviously Riley Thilthorpe. One of them has to make way, and it's not Riley Thilthorpe. Might have to be Tex does still offer things, but Darcy Fogarty does too, so it might have to be Tex. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But Jamie Elliott is the only small for Collingwood, and I have a genuine concern without Bobby Hill. The Pies just won't kick enough of a big score. I mean, Charlie West, he deserves to have a chance. Missing a few of their players, obviously, but at the same time, they're just getting a little bit older, and they need to blood some younger kids. So you obviously got Harry Demedia and Tuj Giath. They should have a crack this year. And Adelaide, you've also got a 211 centimetre ruckman in Lachlan McAndrews. I mean, if you can mark a ball, that'd be nice because he will be a very handy player. That is for sure. Rory Laird is Rory Red. He does it very nicely. His role and is a very underrated. And now Josh Shelley had a great game, 24 disposals and a goal. And yep, that is my review on Adelaide. Now, the audio did cut out, so I'm a bit annoyed by that. Anyways, we got the North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide Sunday Arvo game at Marvel. Now, I went to this game. Please check out the vlog if you have not already. And I went with my dad, who is a North fan. So Port kicked the first 2 goals, and it was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be an interesting win for Port Adelaide. But about halfway through the first quarter, you got North Melbourne just bouncing back and kicking a few of their goals. They were leading at quarter time 22-13. North Melbourne, they're here to prove everybody wrong, and they're ready for a big 2026. I know it's only one game, and they're playing Eagles this week, but you never know. Here we go. I'm excited. I really am for them. Harry Sheezel. I really liked Dylan Stevens' game. He had 29 disposals and he kicked a goal, which was a superb sort of banana kick. You've also got Charlie Comden, who had 18 disposals and 11 marks. And Luke McDonald stood up as well, 9 marks with 20 disposals. Cooper Trenbarth, I mean, he's definitely going to be a keeper, that is for sure. He played well. You've also got Nick Larkey, who kicked 4 goals. He could have kicked 5, potentially. You've also got a guy called Paul Curtis. He took a great mark. 2 great marks, actually. He just couldn't convert. I think he kicked a goal. Yeah, he did. He just didn't convert the others, unfortunately. So North were just dominant pretty much outside of the Port Adelaide's first quarter in the first quarter. Apart from that, just dominant by North Melbourne. They just dropped their heads. Port Adelaide once North Melbourne got on a roll, and so good to see North Melbourne fans turn up as well. I know there's probably like 13 to 15,000 people, but hopefully that more of them turn up because they were very, very loud and vocal. That is for sure once they get going. And they were booing Jason Horne-Francis, which I didn't really like, but at the same time, I can understand. I'd probably do the exact same thing if I was a North fan. So it was a little bit disappointing towards the end because Port kicked an extra 4 goals, which were easy goals. North just didn't put their foot on the gas, but hey, it's 4 points. It's 4 points. That'll give their confidence, and they'll be playing against the Eagles on Sunday night at 6:10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So Victorian, Sydney, and Canberra, Tassie time. So we got the Melbourne versus St Kilda game, Sunday Arvo at the MCG. Now, I only watched a quarter and a half of this game because I was on the train way back from Marvel Stadium. I mean, I probably could have went to this game, but I probably would have only seen like a quarter, so there wouldn't have been any point whatsoever. But the scoreline ended up being 15-17, 107 to the Melbourne Demons, 18-12, 120. Now, 17 behinds really costed St Kilda there. They missed some easy chances, especially in those third and fourth quarters. They're just, like some of those are just easy shots. And Flying Ryan, didn't need a snap. He could just kick it straight, drop punt. It's on a little bit of an angle, probably, 35-degree angle or 45-degree angle between there. Like, all you gotta do is just kick it, slide it straight through. So that was a bit disappointing, but how good was Max Gawn? He did everything and he could for Melbourne to win. He had 22 disposals, 7 advantage hitouts. He also had a whopping 36 hit outs as well, and 5 clearances as well, which is insane. Jacob Van Rooyen, what a great game he had. 6 goals, 3 marks on the lead. Yeah, insane. Brody Mychak was very elite on his debut. He kicked 3 goals, 14 touches. You've also got Marcus Winhager, who had 32 disposals. Jack Sinclair, 31. Sam Flanders, 28. And 3 goals from Naz with 18 disposals. But also, the one of the stars of the matches was Max Hall, kicking 4 goals and 23 disposals. He was elite. I'd say he's probably the second best player on the ground after Jacob Van Rooyen. Okay, let's go through my Gold Coast versus Western Coast Eagles. I watched this game. I was trying my best to watch all of it. I just zoned in and out of the game, but there's really not much to say here. Gold Coast smashed West Coast in a snooze fest by 59 points. It wasn't an ideal game, that's for sure. Gold Coast ended up 20 goals, 11, 131 to 10 goals, 12, 72. Tracker was elite again with 23 touches and 4 goals. Ben King, he kicked 5. How many goals did he kick? 5. Yes, he did. You've also got Millen Murdoch in his first game. He had like 20 plus disposals. He could be the next Liam Ryan, and that would be elite. Also, debutants, Josh Lindsay, 16 disposals, William Dersma, 14, and you've also got Tyler, had 8 disposals. That is my match review. Unfortunately, half of it actually got audited out because the audio was stuff, so I've had to do it again. So I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing, which I will, and I want it to be at least hopefully a Monday, because I don't know if Wednesdays well, because we're pretty much onto the next game, or the next round. So hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and yeah, leave a comment below on this type of content you want to see more of. AFL discussions. I'd like to hear feedback, and yeah, peace.